Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As today we are going to be talking about Adolf Hitler, one of the worst people in history. From being born, early life, midlife, politics, to death. So let's get right into it. Adolf Hitler was born April 20th, 1889, to Lois Hitler and his third wife, Clara Polzel. Adolf had 7 siblings in total, but 3 of Hitler's siblings would end up dying in their infancy. Those 3 were Gustav, Ida, and Otto. Also living with Adolf was Alois's children from his second marriage, Alois Jr., 1882, and Angela, 1883. In 1892, the family moved to Passau, Germany. Adolf's father went back to Austria due to a promotion when he was 3. The rest of the family and Adolf stayed in Germany. After 2 years, the family would move back to Austria and Alois would retire. Adolf would go on to attend a state-founded school named Volksschule in Fischlam. Adolf was very disobedient to his father's commands and would often do the opposite of what his dad asked. This would cause many father-son conflicts, resulting with Adolf Hitler being beaten on several occasions. Alois Hitler would attempt to become a farmer and would be unsuccessful. Due to this, the family would move to Lambach. Then, 8 years old, Adolf would take singing lessons and would participate in church choir, and he would also consider becoming a priest at one point, probably better than what he ended up becoming. The family would move one final time to Leonding and would permanently stay there. Adolf would lose his younger brother to measles and would be deeply affected in 1900. Adolf would change from a confident, charismatic, outgoing, and conscientious student to a morose, detached boy who would often argue with his father, teacher, and peers, and also his siblings. Adolf's own younger sister would describe him as a teenage bully and would hit her often. Alois wanted Adolf to follow in his footsteps as a customs broker. This would annoy Adolf, and he would begin to hate his father more. Alois would send Hitler to the Realschule in Linz, completely ignoring his son's dream to become a painter. Adolf would later say that he intentionally failed and performed poorly in school in his book Mein Kampf, or My Struggle. He hoped his father would see this and let him become an artist. Where it came from. Hitler would develop German nationalist ideals from a young age, as this was normal for many Austrians. He would devote his loyalty to Germany. Hitler would sing Deutschlandia instead of the Austrian national anthem, showing how truly devoted to Germany he really was. After Hitler's father died, he would leave schooling and enrolled into a new school, and after this second repeat of his final would finish schooling in 1905. Hitler would study fine arts in Vienna. He applied to the academy twice and was rejected twice. The director believed Hitler should instead apply to a school for architecture, but he couldn't as he hadn't finished secondary school or high school. On the 21st of December, 1907, Hitler's mother would pass away from breast cancer at 47 years old. Hitler was 18 at the time, and in 1909, Hitler would run out of money and would live homeless and in shelters. He made very little by selling oil paintings. Hitler would be exposed to racist rhetoric, populists such as Mayor Karl Lueger's anti-Semitism. Hitler would look up to Martin Luther and would read newspapers promoting anti-Semitism and racism. Hitler would later be conscripted into the Austrian-Hungarian army, even though he believed that the Austrian-Hungarian military might and empire was doomed. In August 1914, Hitler voluntarily enlisted in the Bavarian army. He would join the infantry regiment 16. He served as a runner on the Western Front, even though he spent most of his time at headquarters. After the Battle of Ypres, he would be awarded the Iron Cross for bravery. Hitler would face many battles and be wounded many times. As well, Hitler would receive the Black Wound Badge and the Iron Cross First Class, which was rarely given to people in his rank. Hitler would suffer injuries and blindness after a gas attack and would learn about Germany's defeat. Hitler believed Germany had been betrayed by Jews, Marxists, and the people who signed the armistice. This would later fuel his racism and anti-Semitism. After the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, many people were angered. Hitler would later exploit this to gain political power. After the war, Hitler would later infiltrate the German Workers' Party, DAP, during a DAP meeting, the 12th of September 1919. Party chairman Anton Drexler was impressed by Hitler's charismatic speaking. He would give Hitler a pamphlet from DAP which contained anti-Semitism, nationalism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Marxist ideas. Hitler was ordered by his superiors to join the party. After a week, Hitler was the 555th member. The party was truly much smaller than this, only around 50 members to be entirely true. DAP would later change its name to National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party as it would later be called. Hitler himself was chosen to design the flag. He chose a red background with a white circle and a black swastika. Hitler was later discharged and began working full-time for the Nazi Party. The party looked to eliminate Marxism and to undermine the Weimar Republic. Hitler would gain notoriety and would be known for his anti-Semitism, Marxist speeches. Hitler would later prepare to resign, but other party members stopped him, as they knew how crucial he was to their movement. Hitler would rejoin on one singular condition. That was that he would replace Drexler as party chairman and be given complete power. He would replace Drexler and gain absolute power of the party after a vote was cast. Hitler would win 533 to 1. Hitler would attempt a military coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The party would look to Italian fascism for their inspiration for uniforms, and this push was inspired by Benito Mussolini's March on Rome in 1921. By staging a coup in Bavaria, to be followed with an attempt to overthrow the government. They would seek the help of State Commissioner Gustav Ritter von Kahr, Bavarian's ruler. However, Kahr wanted a dictatorship without Hitler. Ignoring this, they would storm a meeting of 3,000 people alone with the SA. Hitler would demand support from Kahr, and after Kahr had announced a new government with Ludendorff, he and his people agreed. Hitler at first was successful, but as neither the police or military wanted to join, he would fail and be put in prison for high treason. Hitler would later be pardoned by the government. The Great Depression would help Hitler gain power as he would talk about day-to-day struggles in his speeches. People noticed this and began to listen. This would be what allowed Hitler his support of the people. Hitler would be appointed chancellor by Hindenburg after businessmen had sent him letters telling him to. Hitler would use this placement to eventually take control of the government as dictator. Hitler would use lies and persuasion to get the Enabling Act passed. After it was passed, Hitler had full control of the government. Hitler would skyrocket and gain power over the military too, using this to invade Czechoslovakia and annex Austria. He would later invade Poland, which would spark World War II to flame. In World War II, Germany invaded Denmark, Norway, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and France. And in the year 1940. In 1941, they would attack Yugoslavia and Greece to help Italy, as Italy was a failing nation and military at the time. This would all lead to Operation Barbarossa, which would be Hitler's worst mistake, all using blitzkrieg tactics. Blitzkrieg would use tanks followed by Stuka planes to support the tanks. And that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something today about Adolf Hitler and about maybe even about World War II. But yep, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.